Welcome everyone to the first class of the 2021 online RTRs. So good to have you here. I'm Sue Ann Carlson. I'm the Executive Director of Homes on Wheels Alliance, otherwise known as HOWA, H-O-W-A. And Homes on Wheels Alliance is your host for today and for the rest of the RTRs going through the 20th of this month. Our first class is about finding community and camping safe during the pandemic. Our presenter is Joni Zander. So good to have you here, Joni. First of all, you all need to know that Joni has been a moving force, a strong force in this committee that planned and is executing these online RTRs. So again, thank you. Joni is our secretary of the Board of Trustees for Homes on Wheels Alliance, and she's currently a nomad in California. That's where her camp is. Her YouTube channel is called TheGalavan, and I'd highly encourage you to go visit that. To find the link for that channel, go ahead and go into the description, and it will be there, and it will remain there for your viewing pleasure. Joni has been a nomad for 3.5 years. And she lives out of a Sprinter that is all built out and that she designed herself. So she comes to us with lots of experience about finding community and being safe during this pandemic. So with that, Joni, please take us on and provide us with your presentation.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Sue Ann. I love volunteering for HOWA, and it's really nice to be so appreciated. So thank you. Hi, everyone. It's great to be with you today. I wish we were all together at the RTRs in person, but I'm so grateful for the technology to bring us together virtually and all the volunteers behind the scenes to make this event happen. They've been a great team to work with, and hopefully my presentation today will help you find your community on the road. With the continuation of the pandemic disrupting our in-person RTRs and our official caravans, a lot of new nomads are feeling a bit lost, and I totally get it. You may have been planning for years to attend the RTRs, and this is the year that you were finally able to do so. Or maybe you're still in your sticks and bricks, dreaming of being on the road someday, and this virtual RTR format is a true gift for you. Or maybe the pandemic has propelled you into the lifestyle and you're just learning about this. Wherever you fall on that spectrum, you may be wondering just how to find your community on the road and what community on the road might look like once you do find it. There are some nomads who have their established groups and travel around together for extended periods of time, and others who have lots of nomads they camp with off and on and kind of bump into each other somewhat randomly. I know it can seem like everybody else has their camping groups, especially when you watch seasoned nomads on YouTube. But I assure you, there are lots of people in your situation looking for people to enhance their nomadic life. To complicate things, a lot of nomads are introverts and love their independence. I do, and I love being out by myself, but I also love to camp with friends, both for companionship and for that feeling of safety. So how do you get there? You may be wondering, is it safe to meet up with people you meet online? How do you stay safe as a nomad during a pandemic and beyond? And how do you, as a new nomad, find someone to camp with? Before the outbreak of COVID-19, the RVer social season in Quartzsite made it really easy to find other like-minded nomads because there were thousands of them getting together. But as with everything, we are finding new ways to do things in these crazy times. The internet is going to be your best friend in this. It's a way to reach out to people and get to know each other in a safe environment where you can exchange information either in a group or privately. It's a great way to find people who share your interests and make plans to camp or travel together. Today, I'm going to go over some of the tools that Homes on Wheels Alliance, or AKA HOWA, or also known as HOWA, has set up to help you, as well as briefly going over some other organizations that might be a good fit for you. HOWA now has a host of Facebook groups, and the links are in the description below this video, and they're there for you already. So, and they will continue to be there. So I'm going to just show you these groups while we go through them. So the first group is our general discussion group. It's called Homes on Wheels Alliance Group. This is a public group. That means that anyone can see that you're a member of the group, and they can see what you post in the group. In this group, you can talk about the nomad life, ask questions, ask for recommendations, and share your personal experiences as a nomad, keeping in mind that it is a public group and some things are better left for your personal page. We ask that members of the group avoid political and religious statements as well as fear-invoking comments, but do use this group to get to know people, to find out, just to get to know them a little bit better. Another group that we have is the HOWA Marketplace. So traditionally, we have organized a free pile and community bulletin boards at the RTRs. And unfortunately, because of COVID, we can't do that this year. So we've created the HOWA Marketplace. This is where you can advertise your blog, your YouTube, your business, any services that you have to offer, as well as any items that you want to pass on either for free or for sale. Now, because we cannot officially organize in-person caravans this year, we've created the Camp Together group. I just want to let you know that this is not your average Facebook group. It is not a discussion group. It's strictly for finding others to camp with. All posts are moderated and only post-seeking campmates are allowed. And what that means is when you make a post in this group, it's going to be held for moderation. So you're not going to see it right when you post it. The moderators have to approve it before it goes live in the group. But don't let that scare you. It's a really great tool for finding your community on the road. And I'm going to show you how to use some of the special features that we've enabled, and how to post and how to find others who have posted using one of the special features in the group. So first, if you're already in the group, or if you're not already in the group, go to facebook.com/groups/WeCampTogether. And remember, that link is down below in the description. And this is a private group. So what that means is only members can see who's in the group and what's posted. Just note that we aren't really vetting anyone. There are no membership questions to answer, and we're letting most people in. When you do get to the group, the landing page is discussion. So here we are with the discussion right here. Now, what you want to do when you first arrive is go to units. So that's right next to the discussion tab. You're going to go into the units. I'm going to close my moderator menu here. And what you want to do is start with unit 1. It's called Start Here. The first item in unit 1 is group rules. So you want to click onto that and see more. Anytime on Facebook when you see this see more, you can click on that and expand whatever it is. So just remember that this group is different than what you might be used to. So be sure you do read through the rules. This will give you the community guidelines for the group and give you the things that you need. If you do need to contact an admin, so if you have a question about the group, or you need to, or you have, maybe something was removed and you want to question, want some clarification on that, then you'll want to contact an admin, and I'll show you on a different page how to do that in a second. And so, I'll get there. Yeah. So the recommendations to keep you and your community safe is the next item in the unit, and then finding a place to camp together. So this is so if you're wanting to organize a camp, but you're new, this will tell you what you need to know to be able to find a place to invite others to. One of the next item in that unit is possible summer camp locations, because we did start this back when the pandemic started. So, so this will be applicable again, starting probably in March or April. And then just really simple guidelines for giving the mobile community a good reputation. So avoiding areas where your group camp would damage plant life, leaving your camp location in better condition than you found it, using existing campfire rings, and packing it in and packing it out. So be sure and read through these. And with all of the HOWA groups, we want to keep it kind and supportive. So if you're not happy with something that someone else posted, just take a breath and maybe don't respond. So this is supposed to be an encouraging place, and we want people to feel safe in the group. And just remember that this group is only for finding people to camp with. So only post when you're looking for someone to camp with, and tag your post with the location you'll be in. Respond to posts only if you'll be in that area and want to camp up with the person who's posting. So, so to get back to the discussion, what you're going to do is go over here to the top left corner and just hit this, this right here, the camp together in small letters. And you're back in the discussion area. Oh, with that moderator menu, sorry. All right, so one of the things that we have set up in this group is popular posts in topics. So we've added topics to the group, and this is a really good way to find people in the area that you want to go to. My computer is taking over. I forgot to turn that off. Okay, so what you can do in this box is you can show more and see all the different categories of the places that you can camp. Now, let's say you're going to be in Quartzsite next week and you're looking for people to camp with. There are two different ways to search for people to camp with in Quartzsite. One would be to go to the Arizona tab and go through, and this will show every post that is about going to Arizona or camping in Arizona. Now, they're not Quartzsite specific, it's all of Arizona, but right now most of them are either Quartzsite or Ehrenberg, some in Parker, but most of them are just right in that area. And I like this view because it shows the whole post. So you can see some of your some of the comments, and it's just more like a normal feed. Now, if you want to search specifically Quartzsite, you're going to go up here to the top right corner and hit the magnifying glass. And then you can type in Quartzsite. And when that comes up, you can click that. And this will show you all of the posts and comments that mention Quartzsite. So what you do with this information is you look through and see if you can find anyone you want to camp with. So read the original post. So let's check this one out together. So we're gonna heading to Quartzsite January 1st. Well, that one's okay. Let's do a current one. Here we go. Heading to Quartzsite at the end of January. This is my first trip. So you see what I did? I clicked on her post here, and now that expands it so that you can see the comments and everything. So, so this is how you can find, and then what you would do is you would just read through the people who are commenting, who are saying, yes, I want to camp with you, and find out if you want to camp with them. All right. So going back to the main discussion, So if you see a camp offering and the description does not fit you, then don't comment on their post. Instead, consider creating your own camp space. And if your search doesn't result in any offerings that look good to you, again, just offer your own camp. Yeah, probably. Sorry, I'm getting a lot of wind here where I'm at. So it's an area known for the wind picking up. So remember, I said this is not your average Facebook group. In this group, you have the right to ask for whatever qualities are important to you in a campmate, and you can be as specific or as general as you want. People of all kinds have all kinds of reasons for why they want to camp or travel with certain types of people. And it's not the business of anyone else what those reasons are. If you want to camp with only women who like to hike, drive ProMasters, and hate generators, you have the right to put that out there. And if you want to post a camp offering that includes anyone and everyone, you can do that too. Not every travel group is going to work for everyone, but everyone is welcome to try and find campmates here. We recommend being specific about who you are and who you want to camp with. If you're open to camping with anyone at all, you can just put out the invitation of where and when. If you want to camp with a more specific group of people, for example, just other men or just other women, or if you're a man who prefers the company of women or vice versa, that's totally okay. And if you are non-binary and want to camp with only other non-binary folks, that's okay too. And so is every conceivable combination of people on the planet. This really is designed to be a place where you find the people you want to camp with. Now, because the where and when is the most important information for others who are searching, please start your post with that. So I'm going to just create a post in the groups to show you. I just have to screen share again. All right, so to create a post, you're going to just go to this top box right here next to your picture and click in that if you are unfamiliar with Facebook and how it works. Okay, so we're going to start with where. Oops. Where, and I'm going to say Parker, Parker, Arizona, and when. Boy, I'm having a really hard time spelling. Let's say January 21st. And now I am going to be really specific. Okay, first I'm going to start with who I am. So I'm a quiet van lifer who works a lot, oops, on my computer. Let's see here. What am I looking for? I'm looking for other women who want to camp together, and I'm a stickler for COVID protocols, so, and want to camp together and follow all COVID precautions, right? Let's see, the amount of socializing I'm comfortable with is to, I just have to tell you, I have two keys that are making me crazy: my I key and my O key. Keep repeating, and so just ignore all that. Normally I would just go clean that up, but that's going to take too long. So the amount of socializing I'm comfortable with is to take a walk wearing wearing masks once a day, and maybe an occasional sunset. They also keep switching, so it's really fun. Otherwise, I'm mostly in my van. And what I like to do is I like to suggest that people comment below to start a conversation, to see if we're a good fit for each other. Okay, so then you would just hit post. Now, if you want to attract more attention to your post, you can also include a nice picture either of your rig or yourself or the location where you're at or you're going to be, or that sort of thing. Now, remember, once you hit post, because the group is moderated, your post isn't going to show up right away. Don't freak out and don't post again. Don't feel like it didn't go through. Just wait for the moderators to be back online to approve your post. And our moderators are all volunteers. They're all nomads. And so sometimes it does take us a little while to get to your post. So, all right. So let's give you a different example. Let's say you're a guy who's looking to camp with women. You might post, I'm a 60-year-old guy traveling and living in my converted cargo trailer with my dog. I like country music and football, and I found that I prefer the company of women within 10 years of my age who like the same things. I'm not interested in anything romantic, just good conversations by the campfire and watching football. I'm boondocking in ERP starting January 21st. Now, in contrast, here's a less effective way to ask for the same thing. I'm looking for a woman between 55 and 67 to camp with in ERP starting January 21st. This kind of post raises red flags with women because you haven't said anything about yourself or what's important to you in a campmate. So people jump to the wrong conclusion about what you're really looking to do. And it kind of gives the group a hookup feeling, and that's not what you were intending. So, and to organize a travel group to caravan from one location to another, you might say, I'm just starting van life and I'm looking for people to travel with from New Jersey to Quartzsite. I'm wanting to take a southerly route to avoid cold and snow and want to arrive by January 25th. I'm hoping to avoid campgrounds and just stay at rest areas and Walmart parking lots. If you're anywhere along that route and want to join up, please let me know. Don't be in too much of a hurry to make your conversation private. Keep early conversations in the actual group where you're meeting people so others can see your conversation until you're ready to share meetup locations. It's just a safety tip. Work on vetting people first in this public forum. Talk about the things that are important to you. If you have deal breakers like cigarette smoking, be upfront about those. Lots of differences are easily tolerated by distances between rigs, but some aren't, like loud music, cigarettes, alcohol and drugs, wearing a mask, pets, generators, etc. Some people are uncomfortable with 4-letter words. Some throw F-bombs around like confetti, but don't be shy about your preferences for things that you won't tolerate before you decide to camp with someone else. The clearer you can be upfront, the better experience everyone is going to have. Avoid making long-term camping commitments before you've actually camped with someone. You never know when a hidden intolerance will pop up. Now, before I go into suggestions for setting up successful camp groups, I'd like to go over a few other places to find others. So in addition to the HOWA groups, there are Facebook groups for just about any interest. There are 2 ways to find groups. So I'm going to go back over to Facebook and show you where to find those. Oh, okay. So when you're on your home page of Facebook, and I'm going to expand this a little bit so that the sidebar comes up. So here is a search bar right here in the upper left-hand corner. And you can use any search terms you want. Say you want to camp with dogs. So I found that when I was preparing for this, when I hit camping with dogs, it came up with a, oh, that's not right. That's not what I expected. Okay. Oh, that was a group. Okay. When I searched for camping with dogs, it came up with a bunch of, no, it's not doing it now. Okay, so great. So if the first thing that comes up is groups, then you're golden, and you can, it gives you the first three, and then you can hit see all down here, this bar, and you can see all the different groups that you might be interested in. Now, some groups are larger, some groups are smaller. I have somebody sending me messages right now. So you can look and see if, like this camping and hiking with dogs. So before you decide to join a group, what you want to do is you want to look at the about. So it starts with the about. It takes you right there. And you see the see more right here. Anytime you see that in Facebook, go ahead and click it so that you can see the rest of it. Before you join a group, read through the about, make sure that it's a group that fits for you. Okay, you don't always know, but this one is really detailed. So that gives you a really good idea. And you can see if you have any members in common, which I don't in this group. And there are some admins. There are 4 admins for the group. And so let's just hit join group and see what happens. I'm going to join with my personal profile. That's always recommended. Okay, so just know that when a group has membership questions, you want to go ahead and answer those questions before you ask to join. So this one asks, what breed is your dog? I don't have a dog. So yeah, so I'm just, I'm giving you a broad example. But be sure, so my point here is to be sure to scroll down and answer all of the questions that they have. Now, if you're on a phone, the join or the submit button is going to be over most of the questions. So be sure to scroll down so that you answer all the questions. All right. So I'm going to cancel this because I don't actually want to join that group, but I just wanted to show you how that worked and how to search for it. Now going back to the home, which is this little house looking button, another way to search for groups is to go over here on the left-hand side and go to groups and just click on that. And you can hit discover. Just like Netflix, Facebook knows a lot about you. And so it's going to give you some suggested for you that probably is pretty accurate. So to see, so it's going to show you the 2. And then you want to hit the see all up here in the upper right-hand corner, see all, and expand that so that you can see the different groups that you might be interested in, like Nomads Helping Nomads. That sounds like a great group. So that sort of thing, RV boondocking. So there's lots of different options for things that might be of interest for you. All right. So to be successful, read posts in groups before you start participating to get to know the community culture and norms. Every single group has its own flavor. Introduce yourself and your rig to start meeting other people. And be sure you stay on topic within the group and participate respectfully. And of course, humor never hurts as long as it isn't mean-spirited or directed at anyone. So there are other places online to meet other nomads as well. So one of those is Our Village. And so Our Village is one of HOWA's sponsors, and it works by location. So this is a small social media platform that works really differently than others. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that your location is updated. So right now, update location is right here, and say I'm boondocking, and you can say I'm boondocking in Blythe, California, and I'm boondocking there until the 26th. And then you can hit, oh, before you hit check-in, you might want to uncheck this notify me of new arrivals in the area. I have found that to be really awkward. Now, people who are super outgoing might really love that feature, but you know, you get to adjust it the way you want to adjust it. All right, so I want to show you about groups in Our Village. So next to the home button is the groups, and you can browse groups. I found this website a little bit slow to load because it's loading a lot of things each time. So you can browse the newest groups, and you can click this arrow over here to go through them, or the most active groups. So you can click that arrow there to see which ones are most active, or you can browse by category in the VAT search, or lots of different options for different categories. But what I want to point out is that Homes on Wheels Alliance has a group. So Homes on Wheels Alliance. Oh, my I key actually worked that time. Yay. All right. And so it gives you the suggestion all the way at the bottom, which can be a little confusing. So you're going to click on that. And if you're not in the group, then you can join it. All right, and in the group, you can post something. You can see the welcome. You can see the notifications or the things that we're putting in there. So most of it looks like, well, there's some people commenting, but most of it's like live feeds and things like that. But what's really cool about this, I want to go back to the home page, which is right here, kind of in the middle of the screen on the left, and you click the home screen or the home button, and it comes to this page with a map. The map defaults to showing you all Our Village members. So you can see all the way down here at the bottom, the members is selected. But if you select groups instead, and then you can select your group that you want to find members for. So I'm selecting Homes on Wheels Alliance, and you can see that there are other groups nearby. Now this is within 25 miles of Blythe, and if you click on any one of those dots, you can scroll through and see who's there, and maybe even click on their name and see more about them. Okay, so that's how that works. Now another thing that you want to know about, especially with your involvement with HOWA, is the meetups. Meetup.com/caravans is where you'll find information about the caravans and where you can RSVP and also message other members. So to message other members, you would select the caravan that you're, well, I think you can do it right here too. Let's look. So here's the members. And okay, so let's say I want to message Walt through the Meetup app. So you would just click on his name and then click on messages, and you can send Walt a message. And that's a great way to follow up with someone after a caravan or after an event that you've gone to, or to meet someone before it even starts. Okay, I went off my thing. So HOWA offers co-ed virtual caravan connections Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday evenings. and a women's coffee connection on Sunday mornings. These are a great way to meet others who are either on the road or planning to be. Okay, I don't know if you can hear the helicopter, but it's coming right at me. Okay, so we discuss different topics each week. Some of the topics we've discussed include how to downsize. Like, really, seriously.
It's live television, people.
Yeah, can you see that up there? Okay, so since it's so loud, that's all I could do is show it to you, right? So we discuss different topics each week. Some of the topics we've discussed include how to downsize, dealing with family and nomadic life, helpful accessories, how to prepare food on the road, toileting options, and more. New people are always welcome to participate and get to know the folks who've been coming regularly. And I don't know how many people are participating in the ones throughout the week, but the Sunday one, we get generally around 55 to 60 women most weeks. So it's a great community, a great way to meet other people. And during the RTRs, we're hosting virtual caravan connections to continue the conversation sparked by the day's presentations each evening at 5 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Mountain. So check the meetup link in the description below. Volunteering is another great way to meet people. There are volunteer opportunities within the nomadic community with HOWA, as well as pop-up volunteer opportunities like desert cleanups. Online, if you're proficient with Facebook, most groups could use another good moderator. When you find an online group you like, the best way to meet your people is to participate. Ask relevant questions, share answers when you know the answer. And if you aren't sure you know, then look it up to provide better advice. And also give people helpful links so that they can learn. Seek out people to have conversations with. Do you like how they interact? Do they seem like someone you'd like? Look for commonalities, people to share something with. And then before you message someone first, be sure to message someone first before sending a friend request. So there are also a number of other organizations that have RVing or travel style groups. And so just do a Google search for them. Some of the most popular ones are Escapees and Escapers, Sisters on the Fly, Rainbow Nomads. And there are also 3 popular solo groups. One is Loners on Wheels, another one is WIN, which stands for Wandering Individuals Network, and Escapees Solos. So just so that you know, you can look those up and see more about those. Definitely not a comprehensive list, and I'm sure there's a lot of others that I haven't even heard of. So that's just a sampling, and I hope it sparked a starting place for you to search for the group or groups that are right for you. Branch out and try new groups so that you always have someone to bump into when you want. So once you've met someone online, how can you safely transition to camping together? Because that can be really overwhelming and awkward when you're first starting out and you haven't done this before. So here's how an incremental approach can look. First, you can talk online in that public forum until you get a feel for them, and then you can move to private message or phone after you think you really want to meet. The second, you'll want to meet in town nearby. So maybe a parking lot like Walmart or Lowe's, or a public park before you share your exact camping location.
Excuse me, Joni. I need to let you know you have 5 more minutes to the presentation. And I need to let all of our participants know now is the time for you to send in your questions to Joni. And the way that you do that is you enter them into the chat of this YouTube channel. Now, chances are very good the chat is open now, but you're not seeing it on your screen. So refresh your screen and it'll come up for you. We really look forward to your questions, and the floor is yours again, Joni. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue Ann. And for those of you who are wondering where the refresh button might be, I'm just going to show that to you real quick. It's up in your upper left hand. It could be, so on Chrome, it's up here in your upper left hand button or left hand corner, and it's a circle with an arrow. So look for that either here. If you're on a different type of browser, it might be on the other side. So we were talking about an incremental approach to meeting people in person after you've met them online. So we talked about meeting them, talking in the public forum and then moving to private message, meeting them in town. And then when you do meet them in town, the third thing to do is to assess whether you think they would be a good fit to camp together. And if you both think so, then try camping together for a night. Don't make any long-term commitment to camp together right away. Be clear that you are both sizing each other up. This is an introductory period. Don't be afraid to be really clear about that. It's much easier to extend the time you stay together than it is to walk back an invitation that you've already given. And then the next morning, if everything went great, you can invite them to stay another night. And if it didn't, just let them know that you're going to move on. It's better to camp alone than to camp with someone you don't enjoy. Now, when you're camping with others, especially now in the pandemic, it's good to set up expectations and agreements with each other before you meet up. This allows everyone to determine if they really do want to camp together and minimizes future disagreements and issues. So I'm going to share with you COVID-related agreements that I would suggest, and you can make your own from there. So first, we'll park our rigs more than 10 yards from each other. We're going to wash our hands and use hand sanitizer regularly. We'll avoid going in each other's rigs. And we agree not to come into contact with each other or sit closer than 10 feet apart. We will wear a mask if interacting closer than 10 feet apart and stand or sit so that the breeze is blowing across us rather than toward anyone. We won't share any items or pass any food. We'll check in with each other by 10 a.m. daily just to make sure that you're well, right? If anyone needs anything in town, one person will go for the group, wear a mask while they're out. They'll physically distance while gone and wash hands thoroughly as soon as they return to their rig. And everyone will keep a contact log for any contacts outside our group. No one invites a new camper without agreement from the group. New campers must agree to quarantine for 14 days or show that they have been in quarantine through a contact log. Now, those are very specific to the pandemic, but some non-COVID related agreement examples might be setting up a method of communication. For example, my friends and I use a Facebook Messenger, and we message each other before we physically contact each other. So we don't just walk up to each other's rigs, we'll send out a message. A lot of groups use WhatsApp, texting, whatever works for your group. And then we'll use that communication for things like, hey, does anyone want to go for a hike at 4? Set up work or do not disturb hours if anyone in your group is a digital nomad. Agree on quiet hours or generator hours. Agree on off-limit discussion topics like religion or politics. Now, that doesn't mean that no one you camp with, it doesn't mean that you can't talk about those things with anyone you camp with. You just might want to have an agreement about it. And then any other nomad etiquette items. And those I'm going to be covering in more depth with Deborah Dickinson in the next session at 2 Mountain. And the nomad etiquette items are negotiable and can be part of your agreements. And then once you have your agreements, if someone breaks an agreement or 5, just talk to them and tell them, hey, we had this agreement and this happened, and would you please, stick to the agreement? Thanks. And if that doesn't work, just leave. That's the beauty of having Homes on Wheels.
Thank you so much, Joni. That was really good, very informative. And remember, we have some information in the description for you. And this video will be available afterwards for you to watch as well. So you can review to your heart's content. With that, let's go ahead and start on some questions.
Great.
The first one is from Jeff, and he wants to know, have you ever had any bad experiences meeting people on the road?
Well, bad is relative, right? So, I mean, I have had some awkward experiences. One time, actually, it was around the RTR, my first year out. I went to camp with some people, and the first person I met was going on and on. It was a group adjacent to the RTRs, and this woman was going on and on about these filthy van dwellers. And so she's ranting on, and then she turns to me and says, "Oh, I don't know you. What's your name? And what rig are you in?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm in that van right over there." So it was a very interesting experience, and I used the benefit of my homes on wheels to move away and find some more accepting people.
Very good, very good. So Audrey asked, kind of like almost the opposite, what was your best experience of meeting somebody on the road?
My best experience, boy, I have so many great experiences meeting people on the road. I'd have to say my best experiences was meeting my girlfriend, and again, at an RTR. Imagine that. And what happened there was I had already had a lot of nomadic friends, and I felt like I was ready to date. And so I told all of my friends who I was looking for and to keep an eye out for me, and to introduce us if they found this woman I was looking for. And
type of woman, not me.
right, a type of it, but she's over there in front of my camera. And so a number of different nomads met her and told me that I needed to meet her. I had 3 different nomads tell me that I needed to meet her, and it's been great.
Wonderful. Very cool. Okay, this question is from Karen, and she asks, I am an AA and need to find sober people on the road. What would you recommend?
Well, Karen, that's a great question. I would recommend going to the Camp Together group and putting together a specific camp. So remember, you can create whatever camp with whatever specifics you need. And so so I imagine you probably want a clean and sober camp, and that's perfectly fine to say that, or to just state that that you're creating a camp with no drinking. And I'm sure that there are also AA groups that are nomadic as well. And so just a quick Google search will help you find that. And I do know that Escapees has a Friends of Bill W group.
Very good. And I know at least for the last few RTRs, we've had AA meetings during the RTRs. So we're out there, and posting that request is a great idea. Very good. Okay, this one is from Jane, and she says she's a mom and about to hit the road with her 2 kids. Do you know of any caravans of homeschoolers that she could join?
Yes, so there are some great Facebook groups. I happen to be a mom of grown unschoolers, so I did unschool my kids. We didn't do that on the road. This was before my van life, but homeschooling or unschooling on the road is a great thing to do. I do know that Escapers has family groups, and they tend to caravan together. And also, so there's I think it's called Families on the Road, is a Facebook group that you might want to look into. There and just let's see, what are the other? I'm trying to think of the other groups. I know there are a bunch, and just search for what you're looking for. The I know that the schooly groups often have a lot of kids, and I'm trying to think what the other how ironic is the comment that I'm laughing at, that the schooly group would have a lot of kids who are homeschooled. So so yeah, Google search, because there are a lot of you out there, and it's being on the road with kids is such a great idea when you're unschooling or homeschooling, because you just open up the world, and kids just learn. If they're exposed, they learn.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay. This question is from Anne, and she says, I'm hoping to meet a women's only group. Where can I find one?
So the first place you might want to go is join us on Sunday mornings. And we're not meeting this Sunday morning. We're actually meeting on the 20th at 5 p.m. Pacific. But normally we meet on the caravans. So the meetup.com/caravans. And it's the Sunday morning women's coffee connection. And so that's the first place I would start. And then of course the second place is to go back to Camp Together and say either find, and there are a lot of women who are looking for only women. So you can look there and search, or you can say, I'm looking for women to camp with, and say where and when, and make it specific.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to just keep trying, and
Yes.
you will find your tribe.
Mm-hmm. And just because don't feel like people are snubbing you if you post a camp offering in Camp Together and no one responds or nobody wants that offering. Just keep trying. And sometimes it's just the wrong timing, the wrong place. Maybe they've found another place that they want to go, or another group that they want to be with. So don't take it personally.
This question is from Sherry D. The Sunday meetups you mentioned, is there an agenda? As a newbie, I have some items, but these may have been discussed already.
So the format of the Sunday morning is that you're able to come on up to half an hour before we start, and there's an open discussion then. And then we have a specific topic that we talk about for an hour. And then we open it up for another half hour of open discussion. So if we've already covered your topic or the topics that you're most interested in, it doesn't mean we won't cover them again, because these are designed to help newcomers. And so there are definitely topics that we do need to kind of recycle because new people are coming in and joining us. But if you have a question about something specific, you're certainly able to come in and join us for the open discussion part and talk about anything outside of the topic of the day.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
A Gypsy Minstrel Caravan asks, how can my group promote our caravan and travels via HOWA? Thanks in advance.
Thank you. Yes, the Camp Together group. So the Camp Together group is exactly for that, for finding other people to join your group. So if you've got a group, so the way I might word that, especially if you're caravanning, is I would start with where you're at. So the where you are currently, the date that you are currently, and then in your description, talk about, we are a caravan, and describe the flavor of your caravan, maybe how many people you usually have in your caravan, where you tend to travel, where you're traveling next, that sort of thing.
Very good. Very good. So it's not just individuals that can post and camp together. It's groups that can post and camp together. Very good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. This next question starts out by saying, excellent information, Joni. I don't use Facebook. Do you have another suggestion for finding campmates?
Yes, and Sue-Ann, I don't know the forums well enough to spout out to just rattle off the URL. So if you could share that.
Sure. So the forum that Bob Wells started, who is the founder of the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous and owner of Cheap RV Living, he has a forum, and that's cheaprvliving.com/forums, FOURMS. And you don't have to join to read what's in there. But if you want to post something, ask for campmates, then you do need to join. That means setting up your credentials. And just post in there, introduce yourself in the newcomer area, and post in there that you would like to find campmates.
The other thing is that now you might not be doing Facebook currently, but you don't have to take advantage of all of Facebook to join the groups. You can just join without adding any friends or anything like that, and just participate in these groups. So it's not overwhelming and it's not a huge deal. It's just this little slice of Facebook.
Yes. Okay. April's Excellent Adventure has a question. How can you be alone but still be by people so you're safe?
That's primarily what I do, April. So that's a really great question. And that really is just with those agreements that I was talking about. You know, the example post that I did for me personally was kind of like that. Like, you know, hey, I'm pretty much going to stay to myself, maybe go on a walk every once in a while, but I'd love to camp with other people or near other people. So just being specific on what you're looking for, and you might be surprised how many people want exactly that, exactly to camp near people, but not really interact with them. I think there's going to be more people than you think that who are looking for that.
Yes, I would agree. We're tend to be introverts seem to be well represented among us.
Yes.
Okay.
Imagine that, being out in the wilderness in your own little happy bubble, you know, being attractive to introverts.
Okay. Randy Wilson would like to know how to find fellow rockhounds. Do you have that subgroup on the Facebook page?
So it was Randy?
Yes.
Yes. So Randy, there isn't a subgroup of that on the Facebook page, or on the Facebook group, but you can certainly, if you want to camp with other rockhounds, just be really specific and post that in the group. Now, the Camp Together group is really only for finding people to camp with. So if you're looking for just people to socialize with, you might want to go to meetups, and not our specific meetups for the caravans, but just meetups in general, and look for rock hounding. Or if you're in the Quartzsite area, of course, there's a ton of rock hounds there, and possibly even just meet up with other people in person in Quartzsite right now.
Very good. It seems like our hour has sped by, and it's time to close. So, Joni, great job. And I want to give you just a little bit of time in case you have any closing comments.
Okay, well, thank you so much for having me, Sue-Ann, and this has been such a great project to work on. So I want to encourage you to find your people, to get out there, and it's not just that one touch point of one group, but it's that network. So what you're going to do when you're finding your community is, you know, you're going to meet one or two people, and then they're going to introduce you to their friends, and then you're going to meet other friends, and you'll soon find yourself in just one season probably finding a whole group of people who you can, like I say, bump into down the road.
Very good. Very good. So before I close it finally, I do want to remind people of your YouTube channel, The Galavan, and that link is in the description down below. Yep. And I want to thank everyone for being here. This has been a wonderful first class of the 2021 online RTRs.